Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm gonna take you guys through a full day of eating 1600 calories. Now, some of these are gonna be low calorie and some are gonna be more creative twist to everyday foods. And I know sitting in this low calorie of a deficit can be excruciatingly difficult, especially because those hunger pangs come on 24/7. Now, with that being said, again, I hope that this video gives you guys some tips or just a unique perspective on being able to manage those hunger pangs and also prevent you guys from furthering and going into any sort of binging mode. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So right here, I've got two whole English muffins now. This is gonna give us 4 waffles, and yes, they are a little bit small, but at the same time, if you're used to a specific routine or you're particular about a specific meal prep that you've been having for the last like 6 to 12 weeks, things might be a little bit dull in terms of overall routine. So this is just to kind of help change things up, minimize the amount of time for prep, but also give you something that's gonna be really enjoyable. And I personally actually honestly think that this is very similar to an Eggo waffle. Now, if you've been following me for quite some time on Instagram or even on YouTube, you know that I'm a huge fiend for cold brews or dark coffees. Now, being in a 1600 calorie deficit or just sitting in that low calorie, regardless if it's your maintenance, sometimes it can bring on hunger pangs, and the caffeine from the coffees can also bring on jitteriness. So being at work all day, that's probably one of the last things that I want to happen, because sometimes it can just really take away from the mental focus. So with that being said, kind of help change the routine and also give your body a little bit of a different stimulus, I started incorporating organic matcha. Now, with that, if you haven't had matcha before, you should know that it's got L-theanine in it, which basically helps to kind of mitigate some of the jitteriness and also keep the caffeine or the energy rush consistent throughout the day. So that means no crashes. Now, with that being said, I go ahead and use about a tablespoon of the matcha, throw it into a warm cup of water, that's about half cup, and then give this a good mix. I'll go ahead and toss in a scoop of protein, throw in some vanilla sweetener along with some ice, and then top it off with about a cup and a half of your Fairlife fat-free milk or your favorite nut milk. I'm telling you guys, this is delicious. So for 4 waffles along with an iced matcha latte, we're looking at a total of 568 total calories with 55 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat, and 74 grams of protein. It's a ton of protein in the morning to kind of get your day started, but also just remember there's 20 grams of fiber in this entire meal. And not to mention, for all of us who are just running out the door, trying to get to work, this bad boy right here, just toss it into your favorite thermos and you should be good to go. Snacks, and more snacks. We all love them. We all love to munch on snacks, and I don't know about you, but a lot of times most of us have the itch to snack on something when we're at work because of either social anxiety or just the idea of having to think about all the different types of work items that you have going on, or even maybe just at home, maybe you work remote. Either way, it can be extremely difficult to kind of steer away from snacks sometimes. Now, with that being said, if I usually am reaching for a snack, it's usually gonna be a high quality protein bar. So an uncut bar or an Anna bar. Me particularly, the reason why I pick these up is because they don't necessarily have too many fillers. For me, honestly, a lot of the fibers or the gums just do not sit well with my stomach. So highly recommend you guys to figure out a protein bar that really sits well with you, and it's just a super easy snack to reach. I've also recently been really digging this watermelon salsa. Now, for a lot of you guys who are trying to prep some of these things, they're just super easy, super low calorie, and it's a perfect blend of sweet and savory. So we've got 1 cup of diced watermelon, and then a cup of diced cucumbers. We got some peppers, some of that fresh onion, and for that spicy kick, some of those jalapenos. Hit it with a little bit of lime juice, some salt, cracked pepper. I'm telling you guys, this is definitely one to try. And for the chips, we're gonna go ahead and cut up 2 flat out wraps, toss them into the oven at 420 and bake them for about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, don't tell me that doesn't look delicious. That is absolutely colorful and perfect for summertime. Anyway, if you guys are absolutely digging watermelon right now, gonna have to hop onto this. This entire set is a total of 251 calories with 15 grams of protein, 61 grams of carbs, 27 grams of fiber, and 3 grams of fat. So just remember, the flat out bread is a total of 12 grams of net carbs. Those jalapenos are the perfect touch to this. So we've got 16 ounces of lean ground chicken along with 40 grams of a brown swerve. Then we've got 115 grams of an unsweetened applesauce. We're gonna go ahead and use about 25 to 30 grams of coconut aminos, but you can also use a light soy sauce. And then we're gonna go ahead and use about a tablespoon of garlic salt. Got a little bit of onion powder. And that's a marinade. Now we're gonna go ahead and let this sit for a few minutes just to soak up all the different flavors, but you can go ahead and add in other vegetables, carrots, onions, whatever you fancy, but that's essentially the basic marinade. Now we'll go ahead and let this sit, and then we'll toss it on the stovetop. So I personally like to top this off with a little bit of sriracha just for that extra spice. But at the same token, in terms of total calories, we're looking at about 292 total calories, almost 300 calories with 9 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbs, and then 43 grams of protein. So pretty solid in my opinion, and also keeps the stomach light. So that way you can kind of keep moving throughout the day, and then also kind of backload some of your carbohydrates if you're working out in the evening. Now, with that being said, I also really like to top this off with some vegetables, and recently I've been on a big kick with pickled onions. And if you're a huge fan of fried onion rings or anything fried related to onions, it might be a little bit of a cheat code to be able to dig into pickled onions or pickled vegetables to kind of help curb some of your appetite for some of those fried foods. Again, something worth giving a try, but 300 calories, gonna have to give this one a go. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, if you could do me a huge favor, it's absolutely free to you guys. Give this video a big fat thumbs up. Bam, bam, just, a little love tap. Boop, boop. All right, so since my workouts tend to be later in the day, I tend to push a lot of my carbohydrates either post-workout or pre-workout. And that's a tip that you guys definitely want to try and pay attention to, especially if you're working with lower calories and you're trying to have better performance in the gym. And this low-calorie fettuccine sauce is something that I've been working on. So I want to show you guys what that looks like. You got a tablespoon of butter with a teaspoon of fresh garlic, and we're gonna let this melt over medium heat. And then we've got about 2 tablespoons of a fat-free cream cheese, 1 cup of a fat-free milk, and then we've got some Parmesan, a little bit of parsley. We're gonna let this heat up for a minute and then add about a half a tablespoon of flour to help thicken it up. There it is. All right, so this entire meal comes out to 595 total calories with 13 grams of fat, 89 grams of carbs, and then 41 grams of protein. Not to mention there's about 13 grams of dietary fiber. So honestly, I totally thought I would never be won over with adding vegetables, or at least more vegetables to my pastas. And this is an absolute game changer. Adding zucchini or your cucumbers, once you add the sauce on and mix everything up, you pretty much can't tell the difference between your vegetables and then your pastas. You really have to appreciate the fact that vegetables can play so many dual roles in some of these low calorie meals. So those are our meals for the 1700 calorie diet. Now, if you haven't already, smash that big fat thumbs up. It lets me know you guys enjoyed the video, and also gives me the opportunity to really hone in and make more types of videos like this. But before we head out, if there's one tip that I can give you guys to help out with your weight loss journey or help kind of change your physique a little bit, the biggest tip that I've learned over this past year is really paying attention to foods that are digestive friendly. And I'm not necessarily talking about probiotics and so forth, but just foods that sit well with your stomach, obviously. You don't want an upset stomach, but ones that don't really bloat you. And I've realized that being able to kind of eliminate some of those foods or eat those less often, I've been able to shed some of my water weight and be able to see the physique that I've been working so hard for. So hopefully that helps you guys out. But again, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate you all tuning in. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I'd absolutely love to have you here. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay swole, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.